Hi, and welcome back to Altruistic Channel. That's me, Al Arabal. And so, what I was going to put in this particular little segment is I wanted to address the kind of ego aspect of most people. There's nothing that anybody in the collective consciousness or in business or in any type of reality would ever say ego is an unnecessary aspect to life. In truth, ego keeps us alive and it keeps us with drive, especially when we're not quite yet awakened to the soul aspects or a greater power of ourselves. So it's something that serves a very big purpose. And so I always want to preface that when I'm laying foundation for anything, that your ego does play a large part in your life. But when you start to ascend, you realize that there's something greater than your ego, that something that your ego has been working for that you may have not ever really realized. That's my point. And that would be a faith principle. So think of like the higher being or the higher entity or the grand design or the matrix to be something that's always reaching down towards you, and it's hoping that you will one day reach up towards it with something that matches its frequency or its level, and they will connect, and then you will learn something new, right? So it's the give and take, the yin and yang of learning, or logic, right? Where there's logic, there's reasoning, right? And so that's the struggle that's going on at that time. So when you're thinking about things in terms of the ego, understand that the ego must serve some grander purpose. And so I'm going to place it like this. Have you ever considered the fact that ego may actually serve faith? So the grander design is actually trying to reach out to you. And so it's providing you with the ability to have the one universal quality that all human beings have, which is it's faith. Faith in itself, and then when that is mastered, faith in something grander. And so the ego actually serves the first part, faith in self. And so once that is accomplished, it is now turned into faith. And faith is something that gives you basic principle that you can survive anything and that you are capable of reaching whatever demands come from the divine entity, right? And so in that way, then you get your answer. It's faith. But I always let caution to the fact that you never want to let go of your ego, per se, because your ego has gotten you physically to where you are. So unless we are no longer in human form, which is not going to happen for a long time, then you will still need your ego. Okay. So once you get to the faith-based principle, which is the belief in something bigger than yourself, you tap into the collective consciousness. And so as the collective consciousness becomes more of an important aspect to your life, you start to then question what part of it does it play to your soul and your body's connection. And the answer is quite simple. It's the faith taps into your intuition. So the faith is the grand design speaking to you through your third eye, if you will, or through the mental states, or through your logic. It speaks to you in your spirituality, right? But there's something inside of you intuitively built in that has the recorded mechanism to touch base with who you are as a soul that can transcend whatever your blocks have been from tapping into your true energy, right? So this is a little bit more in-depth, high concept, but it does have a purpose, and it's part of the foundation of all things. So when your faith and your intuition reach into each other, you are releasing your chakras, and your chakras are now in alignment. And so as your faith becomes the predominant part of who you are as a soul, your intuition as a body reaches, and they merge into one party, working with the trilogy of all things, the mind, the body, and the soul. They are all united in faith and intuition. So there comes a point in your ascension when you have worked through what you're going to be dealing with as you tap into the collective and you awaken. You're going to start questioning things in a different scale. But remember, there's a step here before true leadership in this quality, and that is trusting your intuition. So what can I give as an example for this? So when it comes down to your faith in the grander design and in humanity, the question that becomes introspective is what part of your intuition is leading you to something, and are you willing to listen to what it's saying? So let's say for me right now, I'm getting, and all of my tarot and all of my intuitive guides are telling me that I am, that my twin flame, the person that I'm meant to be with, that's another concept we'll get into later, but the where you create man and woman, you also create beings that are from the same cloth, that are destined to be together. And so as I move up in my ascension, the one thing that has become most obvious in everything that I do, and that my intuition is now at the freaking out on me right now, is that I am also being seeked out, whether knowingly or subconsciously, by my twin flame. And so we are both literally aware of each other on a spiritual concept, but there are a couple of options that I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I'm a go with the flow kind of person. I mean, I've gotten to that point as I've ascended, and so I'm kind of going with the divine energy. But right now, my intuition's saying go with this, so we're gonna go with it. So all I know is that it's probably an Aries. For some reason, I'm pretty aware of that. But it may actually be representing in a different element. So either it's Earth and representing in fire, or it's fire representative of Earth, because we're showing up in tarot in a very interesting way. So just a quick snippet of tarot, because we're going to get into this much more in depth later. But tarot is a great way for you to connect with spirituality and the divine energy of the collective, because it's the one place that they're actively seeking information, and they will eventually tap into your frequency. So be aware of that. So it's a great source of information. But I'm showing up a lot with my partner. And the thing that I know of is that basically I'm going to say this now. If you want to know more about how to reach out to me or how to get the nerve to touch base with me, I'm making the first move here. Hi. I kind of know what this is about, so I'm just going to state this out loud. The best thing that can happen to impress me is that I'm attracted to people who are equally capable of manifesting and are people who are strong in their own power in their own right. My response is a duality that exists in all people. Where there is strength, there is weakness. If there is emotion, then there is non-emotion. And so it's that the representation of a person that is able to be a vessel of one in command of their ownership of whatever their specialty is, but that still has a playfulness and a quality to them that I find endearing. And that's what I can speak to you, that's what I know I'm being allured to right now, is that energy is coming very strongly towards me. So I know that we are now aware of each other. And so to that end, I will say this. If you want to ever impress me, then just speak to me. That's all I need in life. My energy will connect with that energy, and those energies will form what it needs to be. In the end, it's all destined. So the only thing I can say is that though I can see a lot, that's one of the things. That's one of the things that happens when you touch into the collective, is that some things that you may not have known or that were primarily dormant for a reason, until you were ready, become activated. And so the only thing I can say is that I know that because everything's created in yin and yang, that as I've reached my power, that this person already has theirs, and that we were meant to always meet at this center of intersection. That is an intuitive quality that came about because I had faith in myself and that I had faith in a grander design. The two met. And now my power is that I know that I'm actively awaiting the arrival of not just a partner in a physical form, but also partnerships in professional world as well, because the energies are all meeting at once. And it has to do with the fact that I am actively now able to receive information. So as you ascend and as you go through all of this very in-depth conversation, it's always important to understand the mechanics, the mechanics of how things work, so that you can understand and start to let it kind of build within you, so that it comes to a full thought. So in the end, what I'm saying though is that I'm tapping into my intuitive nature, and it's meeting the faith in something grander than myself, and acknowledging that I've reached a point in my life where I'm able to consciously receive it, because I'm actively telling the universe, let's go. It's time I want to meet this person. And so to that person, just understand this. The moment you meet me, instant. Nothing to worry about. Never have to even bat an eye, probably, for the rest of his life. If you're a business, I will read the contract over and over again. Just come at me with sincerity and honesty, and we're good to go. I'm a businessman at the end. Though I may be dealing in the spiritual nature, anything that I do in business will still be business. And then last but not least, anybody who doesn't necessarily understand these concepts, please read the book. I'm tired of saying that, but I would like to say that I am never going to get tired of speaking about spirituality and business and the connection of the two. So if we meet in the middle of all this, which my intuitive nature is telling me to do, then I was right to have faith in humanity, because we are now ready to have faith as a collective and saving the planet. And that is it for Al and Altruistic Channel. See how everything connects to itself? Anyway, that is my siren song to my betrothed, whoever that might be. Okay. To the green light, and then also to the business ventures, because I'm totally now in a position where I'm going to look at it. So anyway, that's Al for Altruistic Channels. That may be sound a little ego-driven, but that's anything but ego. That's actually just intuitive nature. So understand that when you tap into the collective, there are a lot of blessings that come with it. And understanding the basic fundamentals of how things connect with each other and that cross, very important. So have a great day, guys. Bye.